Hey guys, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. Now, another injector replacement job and another little tech tip to help you avoid poor man pays twice, we'll call it. You're avoiding that a little bit because if you were doing this injector replacement job, whether you're in the trade or not, people don't notice these sorts of things and they put it all back together and then you got to deal with it later. Now, this is not a big deal, but it's something you need to know about. I've said before, you need to inspect the valve covers. Once you get them off, see this one's a earth moving industry vehicle, so quite dirty even though we've given it a wash. It's all going to get cleaned up. That's going to have some stain on there. You don't get it all off, but you'll probably maybe see later in the video or another video on this vehicle that it's a big improvement. But what I wanted to show you first was we've just removed the fuel pipes and they were a jack in the box, so we know that it's been pulled apart before. So that's the first way we know it's been pulled apart before, right? But also the valve cover bolts are really tight, and what that does is, can you please continue undoing those bolts for me, mate, so that we can just demonstrate. This is a quarter of, these are meant to be 9 Newton meters. I reckon that was about 49 Newton meters, yeah? So when you let idiots work on your vehicle, and look, I do read the comments, okay? I read the comments, and I haven't got time to respond to them all, you know. The information's here for you. You can take it or leave it. You can agree or not. I appreciate the comments. Please keep the comments coming. Try and keep it positive. Please don't swear, because when you do, none of those comments are going to go up, so you're just wasting your time. So this is exactly the point in, check right here. Oh, nice and tight. Now, see that oil sweat? That's what I wanted to show you. That's one of the many things I want to show you on this one. And you can just keep, mate, I'm supervising you now, mate, so come on, you mate, we're working together here, and so you just keep doing what you know how to do, like the expert, mate, you know, he is the expert, #1 in Australia. So, see that bolt there? That's a nut, not a bolt, by the way. Now, we'll show you later in the video. Can you do me a favour? You know when you wash this valve cover, once it's all clean, remind me to have a look at it, add it in this video, and we're going to show them the crack to see if I know my stuff or not. Now, what will happen here, see down there where that nut is, common problem of people that don't know how to work on motor vehicles, over-tightening things, they've got no idea, they just absolutely wreck things, and this is what happens. And you know, people go on about, oh, some of the dealers are all, you know, some of them making it look bad. No, most of the majority of the people in most of the dealerships are making them all look bad because they are bad, right? Now, there might be a few good technicians, and that's about it. So you can't even pick one workshop and say they're really good. It's just you haven't had problems yet. You've got a good relationship with the service manager, service advisor, you have a bit of a chit-chat. You having trouble getting that done, are you, mate? Maybe you should get the half-inch drive stuff out. Anyway, what this does is, so these valve covers I've explained before. See, there's these little crush tubes in there, right? I'll try and get that to focus for you. There you go. They don't stick out the top, they stick out the bottom. Can you see like the gap between the head and the valve cover? There's like about, right, let me try and get that for you. There you go, see that? I'll tell you, it's around about a 2mm gap, right? I'm trying to get everything to focus in the right place and everything now, sorry. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the voice. Again, it's that voice you need. Why is that focused like that? It's terrible. Anyway, I'll try and fix it up. There you go. Right, so why? It's because it's 9 Newton meters, right? The gasket isn't meant to be squashed. Valve covers aren't meant to be busted. Threads aren't meant to be stripped out of heads. What's meant to happen is the gasket squashes down, and when that crush tube touches, it's telling you. The Japan engineers have idiot-proofed this job, so stop being an idiot and over-tightening them. Once it gets to that crush tube there, it's not going any tighter. The bolts are going to get tighter. The tubes are going to pull into the alloy and probably leave some marks there. And all you're going to do is bust the valve cover. And what will have happened down here is, along that side of the plastic there, right in the middle of the picture, right? You know what I mean? Where that bolt is just there, we're going to find a little hairline crack, and that's just an oil weep. These valve covers, I think, I got one recently for someone, didn't I? Was it 350 bucks or something? Anyway, I don't want to replace these covers and waste your 350 bucks. Stop letting butchers work on your vehicle. Careful where you go. You can get the injector kit from me. You can get in the VIP group. You can learn to do it yourself, or we can recommend a repairer in some states of Australia. But, you know, unfortunately, There's just not enough people around to do the job right, which is why they should be putting themselves out of business, and you guys need to learn to do it yourselves. So if you're not mechanically apt, don't try. Here we go. This is one of the hard ones where you've got to use the uni joint, and we know how tight it is. Monitoring the we're using the quarter drop. This is what they should be done up with, a quarter drop. If you haven't got a torque wrench and you nip these up by hand with a quarter drive, generally you're not going to over tighten them. What do you reckon they've used? 1/2 inch tools to get it that tight? That is so tight. This guy's got some biceps. Maybe later in the video we'll flex them up and show everyone what you got, mate. What do you reckon? So he's not the talker, mate. I'm the talker. Anyway, so that'll be a crack there. Don't over tighten the bloody things. I've just explained that really well, why not to. What else do we need to see? Yeah, it was a jack in the box, so they bent the pipes back. Usual dodgy procedures. We're going to get some new injectors into it. If there's something else in the video, I'll show you. Once we get the cover cleaned up, I'll show you that so you can understand. And we'll have some other information included, just mixed info, so stay tuned. This might be called another bloody butchered whatever, or yeah, I don't know what we'll call it. We'll have to check what playlist we can put it in. Check out our playlist, guys. We're out here, it's all been cleaned up. You can see it's a lot cleaner, but the staining that's cooked on kind of stays there. You could probably spend an hour or two and get it clean, but just hoping, I don't know how well you can see that crack there. We need to go inside out of the sunlight. But back looking at the engine for a moment, you can see it's had good regular services, because see the alloy of the head, it's fairly clean. Not too bad. The colour of what you see under here gives you an indication of the truth about services. And the evidence we're looking for is more evidence that the injectors have been out. They may have even reused those little gaskets. See that? They should be sitting nicely like that. Doesn't always work out that way, so not necessarily, but injectors may or may not have been out. We don't know. The pipes have been off, but often they just bend the pipes. As they did, take the cover off. Risk of contamination, all the rubbish fills in the inlet there. You can see all the rust and that on the outside of the threads. The nozzle seals are generally just full of that sort of stuff. And yeah, contamination to the injectors, that causes a lot of people's problems. They don't even know what's going on. Alright, so we're going to have an inspection of this valve cover. The other parts you've got to check, really important. You keep working over there, keep making the noise, don't worry about me, it's all good. They can hear me. Go, make noise, mate. Hey, you guys, you got a problem with the noise in the background? Tell someone who cares. Now, what you got to do, you got to check the back of this valve cover as well. If people have tightened down the back too tight, or the back before the sides, it flexes enough, can actually sort of crack over the corners here, up here. We've seen them generally on the back. Spin it around. On the back corner here, you'll sort of see the crack. So if you see a sweat of oil, it isn't the gasket leaking. It's not the gasket down here. It's either going to be, it's not these because they're leaking, it's because someone's had it off and they've got dirt between the rubber and the injector solenoid, like a bit of sand, and it holds it. Only takes a tiny little bit, and then you've got a little track for that oil to weep out. So if you see oil and it's wet around here, you got to sort of be looking, so you know, along there, cracks along here, whatever, you know what the crack will look like. So you can see the crack on this one here. We'll get in there. Check that out. So you can see the crack there. Alright, so it's only it's a weep. So in this case, $350 for a valve cover seems like a bit of a waste of money. Now, it was only a weep and it only went to there. And I personally think I'd be doing the wrong thing if I called the client and said, hey, you know, your valve cover's cracked, and I don't even need to call him. He'd say, do whatever needs doing, right? It's a work yet. You know, it might sound a bit dodgy, but I believe we're going to have a good inspection. Now, the crack actually goes over that side as well. Ooh, because I only saw it down there before. See, it goes up the other side. And it could get worse. So we've got to think about this. We're not going to make a decision on the video, but my point was, give this a good clean up with some brake cleaner, a little bit of RTV silicone, get the black stuff. I've got some black Sikaflex there, I think. I don't know if that'll work. The RTV works awesome. These people are not going to be worried about what it looks like, but we could really neatly just, you know, and remember it was only a very minor sweat. There was no oil anywhere further, you know, see how it goes upward? Well, there wasn't much going down. Let's go and have a look at the vehicle and confirm that in case I'm wrong. Okay, so we're looking at the back corner here, right? You can see there's no oil on the head, so there's no oil leaking down. You can see the little bit on that bracket there. That's probably the extent. So that's not a leak, it's a weep. And you know what? Put it in the comments. Do you reckon it's worth spending 350 bucks? Is it worth spending 350 bucks for that little crack on a Hilux, on a 2012 Hilux that's 9 years old, that's a earth-moving work ute? You know, worst case scenario, we don't do a good job and it weeps a little bit. It's going to be no worse than that. Best case scenario, we do a good job, there's no more weep, but it looks a little bit untidy. We can do a fairly neat job. I don't know if we want to show you that on video because people are going to go, dodgy, whatever. Cheapest oil leak fix that works. Just trying to demonstrate. Like this stuff here, see how that sticks? Same sort of stuff, right? That's your flexible RTV type silicon. Anyway, guys, that's a video. You want to avoid it by not over tightening them. You can see how it's just absolutely flattened. Look at the marks. Anyway. Butchered. Anyway, guys, please hit the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on. Just showing you what to avoid. I don't know what we're going to do. I think we're going to... What do you reckon, mate? You know, what do you think? Replace the cover or just a bit of RTV and patch it up? 9-year-old work, yeah. Try and see. Yeah, it'll work. Oh, don't worry. I know the product will work. We're going to do it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya. And that's the bicep that had to get those 9 Newton meter things undone. Way too tight. Hope you found that entertaining and informative. Remember, like it, subscribe it, and turn the bell on. See you guys.